Welcome back to New Rockstars, everyone. I'm Eric Voss, and today we're diving deep into The Punisher: One Last Kill, the latest Marvel special presentation, now streaming on Disney+. This project brings back Jon Bernthal as Frank Castle in the Born Again era, right before his highly anticipated return in Spider-Man: Brand New Day. This isn't just another superhero story. It's a raw, isolated, and brutally violent standalone tale that shows us even when Frank thinks he's finally done with his one-man war, the world keeps pulling him back in. There's always another innocent kid, another helpless dog, or another broken family that needs justice. And Frank Castle is the only one willing to deliver that justice the only way he knows how. Today, we're breaking down this special presentation scene by scene, exploring the deeper meaning, hidden Easter eggs, symbolic details, and everything you might have missed on your first watch. And yes, because Karen Page makes an appearance in this one, I'm proudly wearing our Nelson, Murdoch, and Page shirt, available exclusively at nerdride.shop. Picking one up is the best way to support the channel and everything we do here at New Rockstars. We open with the iconic Marvel special presentation fanfare. This marks only the third time we've seen this intro, and the first since 2022, during the intense pre-strike streaming wars. Back then, former Disney CEO Bob Iger pushed hard for more original content, which gave us Werewolf by Night in October 2022 and the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special the following month. These special presentations are designed as self-contained stories, like modern versions of those classic 1970s TV movies. One Last Kill opens with Glenn Danzig's legendary song Mother. Originally released in 1988, it was remixed in 1993 and 1994 as a bold response to Tipper Gore's parental advisory sticker campaign, which Danzig and many artists called outright censorship. The song hits hard right from the start, especially on Disney+, pushing boundaries in a way that feels very Punisher. The opening lyrics, "Mother, tell your children not to walk my way," work on multiple levels. On the surface, it's Frank warning Ma Nucci, the crime family matriarch, whose sons he already punished. But deeper than that, it's a commentary on overprotection and the consequences of shielding children from harsh realities. Frank seems to be saying, maybe if you had listened earlier, your family wouldn't have ended up in my crosshairs. The very first shot reveals Frank's chaotic research wall, covered in crossed-out targets, fingerprints, maps, invoices, and newspaper clippings. It's a darker evolution of the wall we saw in Daredevil: Born Again. This time, Frank is living in a rundown apartment in Little Sicily, a fictional neighborhood inspired by real-life Little Italy in Manhattan. He paces shirtless, his hands bleeding from intense pull-ups. The camera lingers on his scarred, tattooed body, giving strong Catholic imagery, almost like Christ on the cross, suffering for the sins around him. Frank pushes himself to 41 pull-ups, but falls just short of 42. A clever nod to Douglas Adams' 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Even in his pain, Frank has no real answers. He pops painkillers, drinks bourbon straight from the bottle, and vomits into a bucket he had already prepared. The once powerful Danzig track slowly distorts into something chaotic and unhinged, perfectly mirroring Frank's mental state. So how did we get here? Let's quickly recap Frank Castle's journey for those who need it. Jon Bernthal first exploded onto screens in Daredevil Season 2 on Netflix in 2016. His portrayal of the vigilante who believes in lethal force immediately became a fan favorite. After his own 2-season Punisher series, we saw him return in Daredevil: Born Again, where he helped Matt Murdock during the chaos with Mayor Fisk and the AVTF. This special appears to take place sometime after the events of Born Again Season 1, but before Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Writer Dario Scardapino confirmed it bridges the gap between those stories. After his emotional breakdown, Frank smashes the mirror where his daughter Lisa's photo is pinned, creating a shattered reflection of himself, a clear visual callback to Billy Russo becoming Jigsaw. He rips down his entire research wall, realizing none of his past kills brought him any peace. We then cut to a montage of riots and chaos in Little Sicily, showing the power vacuum Frank created after eliminating the Nucci crime family. An old Marine veteran named Johnny carries his dog Camo through the dangerous streets. We even get a fun cameo from Radio Man, Craig Castaldo, the legendary New York street extra who appears in many productions. Johnny sings a line referencing Mussolini, highlighting the fascist-like control the Nucci family once had over the neighborhood. Then tragedy strikes when a psychotic thug named Mickey steals Johnny's Marine hat and throws Camo into oncoming traffic. This brutal opening sets a Mad Max meets the Warriors tone, We see Mickey's gang terrorizing local business owner Dre, played brilliantly by Andre Royo from The Wire, and his young daughter Charlie. The question lingers: how did one neighborhood fall into such lawlessness? The story suggests it's the direct consequence of Frank's past actions. Removing one evil created space for many smaller ones. Frank recites the Marine Recon Creed in his apartment as ghostly visions of his fallen brothers appear around him. This powerful sequence shows both his PTSD and the guilt that haunts him. One of the ghosts is Curtis Hoyle, who clearly disapproves of Frank's path. In a moment of self-punishment, Frank carves a red X into his Marine tattoo, mirroring how he marks his targets. He then locks away all his weapons, trying to walk away from the violence. But as he steps outside, blood seeps through his hoodie. In Dre's donut shop, Frank witnesses everyday human decency, even in chaos. A news report confirms his connection to the fallen Nucci family. That same blue pen Dre was looking for earlier becomes a shocking weapon in the final fight. A perfect Chekhov's gun moment. A mysterious black car watches Frank. He tries to ignore the growing violence in the streets in one long, impressive tracking shot. Eventually, he makes his way to the cemetery to visit his family's graves. This is one of the most emotional sequences in the entire special. John Bernthal delivers heartbreaking work here, especially with his real-life daughter playing young Lisa. He recalls tender memories that slowly twist into nightmares of violence and loss. Ghosts of his past and present appear, including Karen Page, who urges him that his work isn't finished yet. Ma Nucci herself confronts him, revealing she has placed a massive bounty on his head. At 6:47, every killer in the neighborhood will come for revenge. What follows is an absolutely explosive, non-stop action sequence full of brutal, creative kills set to Louis Armstrong's La Vie en Rose. Frank fights wave after wave of assassins while protecting innocent residents. He uses whatever weapons he can find, showing his Marine training and resourcefulness. The violence is over the top, but always purposeful. After saving Dre's family, including a heartbreaking hug from young Charlie, Frank returns to the cemetery one last time.
What did you think of The Punisher: One Last Kill? Did you catch all the Easter eggs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. A massive thank you to our incredible NR Underground subscribers, especially executive producer Jeremy Dunham. You can unlock exclusive bonus content at nrunderground.supercast.com. Huge thanks to studio tech Brian Kim, editors Joshua Stephen and Abby Fell, and the entire team for their hard work on this video. Follow me at EA Voss, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay vigilant out there. Bye.